that's why we're talking about the movie. But we also would like to talk a little bit about you, and I don't know how comfortable you are, you know, talking about yourself at the moment.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most embarrassing times that celebrities have walked out of an interview, or it was suddenly ended by them or someone on their behalf. The cringe can come from either the celebrity's behavior or the interviewer's inappropriate questions.
This is Hold it. Listen to me, because you'll learn.
Number 30, Kanye West. Ye is a contentious figure and has given many infamous interviews throughout the years. Just ask Sway, who definitely doesn't have the answers.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
One of the OG freakouts occurred all the way back in 2005 when Ye appeared on the Toronto radio station Flow 93.5. Ye was already on edge, as the station had previously edited the lyrics to his famous song Gold Digger. Ye confronted the host about the censorship, and things got a little heated live on air. Unfortunately, the DJ cut off Ye one too many times during the discussion, prompting the rapper to slam his hands on the desk, yell at the host, and storm off the show.
Yo, stop it, man. I'm talking, man. Keep on cutting me off, man. Are you serious?
Number 29, Montel Williams.
It has zero to do with this and has zero to do with the school. So I'd rather not address that during this interview. But if you want me at another time, we can schedule it. I'll be back up here to do it. Or we can get me via satellite.
Famous talk show host Montel Williams sat down for an interview with WPTZ's Jack Thurston, but it didn't last too long. Williams is a known advocate of medical marijuana, having used the plant to aid with his multiple sclerosis. When Thurston brought it up, Williams immediately shut him down, claiming that his marijuana use had nothing to do with his reason for being there, but that he'd be happy to discuss it at another time. When Thurston pushed, Williams simply stood up, claimed that the interview was over, and told the camera operator to cut their device.
We end the interview. Done. Thanks.
Number 28, S Club 7.
There are rumours, I don't know how true they are, that you guys are grumpy because you haven't made a mint.
Formed in the late 90s, S Club 7 was another British group looking to capitalize on the Spice Girls craze. They had great success, but broke up under curious circumstances in 2003. As a final goodbye, the group stopped at the BBC for an interview on Liquid News. Host Claudia Winkleman brought up the group's finances, referencing a rumor that they were unhappy with their pay. Before they got into the weeds, a publicist stormed into the room and put a very awkward stop to the interview. Guess that answers that. Turns out there was some truth to the rumor. Band member Hannah Spirit later admitted that the band members were severely underpaid, despite selling millions of albums.
I'm not having that. I'm not having you asking that question. I tried to stop this and I've had to walk in here. Can you go? We're going. I'm sorry. No.
Number 27, Jamie Foxx.
The one and only Jamie Foxx, representing Team Clippers.
Famous actor Jamie Foxx was in attendance at the 2018 NBA All-Star Celebrity Game, playing for Team Clippers. SportsCenter host Michael Smith was lucky enough to score a ringside interview with the Oscar winner, but he squandered the opportunity with celebrity gossip. It has long been rumored that Foxx once dated Katie Holmes, and Smith referenced a series of photos that showed Foxx and Holmes playing basketball on Valentine's Day. Foxx didn't even address the rumors nor the photos. He simply stood up, removed the headphones, and walked away.
Did you and Katie Holmes play basketball for Valentine's Day? Like some real loving basketball game? Uh-oh.
Now, that's how you leave an interview like a boss. The look that the sound guy gives the camera is just icing on the cake. Number 26, Selena Gomez.
Is there something about him that we don't get or we don't understand him?
Justin Bieber was controversial in 2013, often encountering run-ins with the law and engaging in problematic behavior. And at the same time, he was in an on-again, off-again relationship with Selena Gomez. Gomez appeared on Chicago's WGN-TV and gave an interview with Dean Richards, who asked the pop star about Bieber's behavior and if there was, quote, something about him that we don't get. It's quite an inappropriate question, and Gomez politely but noticeably made her displeasure known. She simply stayed quiet and gave some disbelieving looks off camera before the screen cut to black. It's likely that her publicist ordered the cut, resulting in a brilliant bit of awkward comedy.
What don't we get about him, or what is it that he's not getting out there?
Number 25, Cameron Diaz.
We are friends. We are fellow angels. Please welcome my partners in crime and life, Lucy Liu and Cameron Diaz.
This wasn't a walkout per se, but a hung up instead. Cameron Diaz and Jason Segel were discussing their new movie on the Australian morning radio program, The Kyle and Jackie O Show, when Kyle Sandilands made some inappropriate comments about Drew Barrymore and her controversial past. This immediately rubbed Diaz the wrong way, as she is very close to Barrymore. Her vocal demeanor instantly changed following the comment, and she became openly combative with Sandilands. Sensing the obvious tension, Jackie O attempted to change the subject, but it was too late. After a brief detour, Diaz abruptly ended the call, claiming, quote, "they're wrapping us up," before hanging up on the duo.
Do you know how hard it is to find a quality man in Los Angeles?
Number 24, Rihanna.
Well, people are interested in you. You're a big star.
They are, and they're interested in a lot of things. A lot of things that don't matter or shouldn't.
That's where our interview abruptly ends.
We return to Australia for this interview between Rihanna and Natalie Barr, host of the breakfast show Sunrise. The pop star was there to promote her new movie Battleship, in which she plays a Navy gunner's mate named Cora Rakes. The interview began well enough, but before long, Barr brought up Rihanna's romantic life. She asked if it's awkward being linked to other celebrities, and Rihanna gave a fierce comeback befitting the question. She insinuated that her personal life, quote, "shouldn't matter," before the interview suddenly ended, with the implication that Rihanna had walked out. Barr later said that celebrities and publicists don't like when, quote, "you venture into personal territory."
If you ask nice questions about the movie, that's fine, but if you venture into sort of personal territory, they don't like it at all.
We suppose she just couldn't help herself. Number 23, Birdman.
All three of y'all, stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna say it no more.
We don't know what the record for shortest interview of all time is, but this has to be up there. Back in April of 2016, American rapper Birdman appeared on the popular radio show The Breakfast Club, and his displeasure was immediate. The second Birdman entered the studio, he attacked the hosts and told them to stop playing with his name. And when they went on the air, Birdman got into a vicious fight with Charlemagne the God, told him to, quote, "put some respect on his name," dropped a few racial slurs, and left, all within the span of just 1 minute. You can't script this kind of stuff.
Y'all finished or y'all done? I ain't got no more talking. Let's rock.
Number 22, Nicolas Sarkozy.
Since we've been here, it seems that every day we're hearing another story about your wife. What's going on?
As we're learning throughout this list, many famous people do not like talking about their personal lives. That includes Nicolas Sarkozy, who served as the president of France between 2007 and 2012. The same year he took office, Sarkozy divorced his wife of 11 years, Cecilia Ségane-Albéniz. This divorce came after months of rumor and speculation that the couple was not getting along, and Sarkozy was asked about the nature of the relationship during an interview with 60 Minutes. Sarkozy remained tight-lipped, but host Leslie Stahl persisted. After another line of personal questioning, Sarkozy raised his eyebrows to his hairline, took out his earpiece, and left with a genial handshake.
Sarkozy decided the interview was over.
T'es vraiment un enfant, hein?
And off he went.
The divorce was officially announced just 2 weeks later. Number 21, Russell Crowe.
The location of him, the accent you've given him, there are hints to me of Irish, but what were you thinking of in those terms?
You've got dead ears, mate. You seriously got dead ears if you think that's an Irish accent.
Whatever you do, never tell Russell Crowe that he sounded Irish in Robin Hood. That's what BBC radio presenter Mark Lawson did, and it resulted in a slew of problems. Crowe was on Radio 4's Front Row to discuss Robin Hood when Lawson claimed that his accent in the movie sounded Irish. Crowe took immediate offense and told Lawson that he had, quote, dead ears for believing that. And then, despite answering a question, Crowe immediately returned to the Irish comment and claimed that the assertion is, quote, ridiculous. He then made one further sarcastic remark before leaving, muttering under his breath that he, quote, doesn't get the Irish thing. Yeah, we can tell.
Thank you.
I don't get the Irish thing, bro. You can get him, bro.
Number 20, Gary Coleman. Former child actor Gary Coleman found himself a target of the tabloids in January of 2010, when he was arrested on an outstanding warrant related to domestic assault. He subsequently appeared on The Insider in an attempt to clear his name, but was pelted with accusations by the hosts.
Little relationship with your wife. Have you ever physically touched her?
No, I don't have a volatile relationship with anybody.
In the course, he grows particularly hostile towards guest host Lisa Bloom, who seemingly refuses to listen despite his constant denials. They proceed to get into a fierce screaming match before Coleman storms out in a flurry of curses.
Because she's pushing my buttons, and I don't like her now, and the next thing I'm going to do is leave. So all of you.
The other hosts can do nothing but sit and gawk at the sheer pandemonium that is taking place beside them. Number 19, Julian Assange. Getting an opportunity to speak to the man who probably knows more than most isn't an opportunity to be squandered, but sadly, that's what CNN ended up doing.
And it is extraordinarily disrespectful to those people to start conflating the first revelation of that material with any sort of tabloid journalism.
During a 2010 interview, the journalist repeatedly asked Assange questions about his personal life, prompting him to threaten to walk if the questions didn't stop.
I'm going to walk if you're going to contaminate us revealing the deaths of 104,000 people.
The interview was intended to focus on the importance of WikiLeaks, but quickly turned to inquiries regarding Assange's past lawsuits. After repeated warnings that he would leave if the topic of conversation continued, Assange stayed true to his word and walked out.
Okay, sorry.
Julian, I'm happy to go on to that route. In what sense?
Number 18, R. Kelly. Now this is an interview for the ages. While appearing on HuffPost Live, R. Kelly is told by the interviewer that his controversial personal life has been affecting his album sales and the way people interact with his lyrics.
Your personal life has started to interfere with the way that people consume your lyrics.
Right,
I sent you some messages there about that.
You're here to get ratings, and I understand it. I respect that.
No,
but
sir,
you won't be getting them off me if you're going to interrogate me.
I'm not
rather than sit here and
interrogating
talk
you.
about something positive.
This does not please Kelly, and he tells the interviewer that she only has one more question. This results in an absolutely hilarious and surreal moment where the two talk over each other for a solid minute, with neither being interested in what the other has to say.
There have been multiple accusations against you, against young women in Chicago, and they are concerned about your past, and that's impacting them from purchasing your music sales.
It doesn't matter who they are.
Of course, the interviewer has a point, because R. Kelly's reputation has plummeted in recent years. Number 17, Sarah, Duchess of York. Nobody likes being confronted with video evidence of them committing a crime, especially royalty. In an interview with the Australian version of 60 Minutes, the Duchess didn't seem to want to be there whatsoever. Snappy replies, eye-rolling, and the demand that the camera crew delete certain segments of the recording made for an interview that was wild from start to finish.
Delete that bit.
The final straw came when she was shown footage of her accepting a bribe for offering insider access to members of the royal family. With one more huff, the Duchess was out. Number 16, Bill O'Reilly. This conservative commentator has caused more than his share of outraged reactions. This is another one where we don't physically see the subject, but the host herself has called it a walkout, so we've got grounds to include it. In this public radio interview with NPR, it was O'Reilly's turn to leave outraged. O'Reilly was on Fresh Air to promote his book, Who's Looking Out for You, and wasn't ready for one specific line of questioning from host Terry Gross. Gross asked O'Reilly about recent accusations that were made against him, accusations that claimed he was abusive and unkind. O'Reilly instantly turned combative and eventually ended the interview, claiming that it was, quote, a hatchet job on him. Years later, O'Reilly was fired from Fox News over instances of sexual misconduct.
He said, if you think that's fair, Terry, you should get out of this business. And I'm thinking, one of us still has a program.
Number 15, Paris Hilton. Sometimes celebrities just don't want to give up the spotlight. In the case of Paris Hilton, even the suggestion that her fame had run its course hit a sore spot for the notorious diva. As this ABC News interview went on, and she was questioned if she felt threatened by the Kardashians' newfound fame, Hilton became more and more Hilton.
Do you ever worry about your moment having passed?
Sarcastic laughter and clipped short replies hinted that the TV personality had just about had it with her time in the interview chair. When the reporter asked, "Do you want to wrap up?" Paris spared him an answer and simply got up and left.
You want to wrap up?
When I was curious about one thing going back.
Number 14, LeBron James.
A bit of context for this one. In Game 1 of the 2018 NBA Finals, Cleveland Cavalier J.R. Smith made a monumental mistake, resulting in the eventual loss of the game.
Watch James. Now wanted a timeout, but too late to get it. And 5 minutes go up on the clock, overtime here in Game 1.
Teammate LeBron James was visibly peeved at Smith, and journalists couldn't help but bring it up in the post-game conference. An ESPN reporter asked James what Smith was thinking when he made the error, resulting in a bitter back and forth. When pressed further, despite answering the question numerous times, James simply stood up, gathered his belongings, and left the stage amidst a painfully awkward silence.
Did you know if he knew the score?
Thank you.
We're gonna go ahead and say no, he didn't know what Smith was thinking. Just a hunch.
Number 13, Bee Gees. Before you bring a world-famous band onto your show, it's probably best to brush up on at least a few of their songs. When Stayin' Alive superstars appeared on Clive Anderson's talk show in 1996, things were tense from the beginning. Singer Barry Gibb seemed to become especially annoyed with Anderson after the host mentioned he'd forgotten one of their hits from the past, and the pop star laughed before simply excusing himself and walking off stage.
We're getting on like a storm, aren't we, Clive? Yes. In fact, I might just leave. Yeah. Oh, I've never had anyone walk out before, but...
With a painfully awkward half apology, the rest of the band slowly followed, leaving the stunned host all alone. Was it something he said?
Oh, well, I guess I better join them.
Number 12, Jesse Ventura.
In 2009, vet, wrestling icon, actor, and politician Jesse Ventura appeared on Opie and Anthony, only to spar with comedian Jim Norton over the topic of the American government and military. Norton continuously yells into the microphone, while Ventura calmly tries to explain his situation and point of view.
Our government's covering it up. We have not been told the truth.
So you feel that
Well, okay, wait a minute. All right? If you'll calm down a moment.
You're yelling. You said the F word. You're the governor. The F word.
This is serious.
It eventually gets so bad that Jesse simply just sits back and stares at Norton, clearly frustrated with his stubbornness. Ventura leaves 20 minutes later, but even in the midst of physically walking out of the studio, he and Norton can't help but dig into each other.
Bye, tough guy.
Bye, tough guy.
And thanks for your service to our country.
You're welcome. Thanks for touching me with your stupid riff-raff Rocky Horror hairdo.
It's wonderfully awkward, and it's a miracle that it didn't come to blows. Let's just say, Jim wouldn't have lasted long.
Number 11, Donald Trump. Ever since his election, there's been friction between Donald Trump and the press, to put it mildly, and this botched interview with CBS was no exception. Though it began smoothly, things went south fast when the infamous validity behind the Obama wiretapping accusations were brought up.
You call him sick and bad. Look, you can figure it out yourself.
Apparently, this was a touchy subject for President Trump, as only moments after the questioning began, he waved the reporter away and announced that the interview was over.
It's enough. Thank you. Thank you very much.
To be quite honest, nobody was all that surprised.
Can't talk anymore. No, can't talk anymore.
Number 10, Jordan Belfort.
Why can't I ask these honestly, and I was told this was a friendly, nice interview, and no one has ever treated me as disrespectfully as you have, really.
Legally speaking, Jordan Belfort is a convicted scammer and fraudster who spent 2 years in prison. You may know this because Leonardo DiCaprio played him in The Wolf of Wall Street. After its release, Belfort sat down with 60 Minutes reporter Liz Hayes. Throughout, Belfort grows hostile when Hayes discusses his victims and their restitution, but things get really wild once she asks if he's hiding money in Australia, leading him to scoff and prod Hayes to move on. But an off-screen voice cuts the interview short.
You have an oral contract with your management, the Fordham Company. Is that an attempt to hide your income?
Next question.
I think the peanut gallery is going to start chiming
really quickly. We've been audited.
I think you can air what you want here out of this interview. It's done.
Why can't I?
You got a lot of nerve, boy, I'll tell you.
Belfort proceeds to chastise Hayes from the sidelines, calling her disrespectful and telling her that she has a lot of nerve to ask the question she was asking.
Number 9. Robert Pattinson. Ryan Seacrest is no stranger to awkward moments.
Well, I'm giving you a high five.
But this red carpet weirdathon with the Twilight star still makes us cringe. Chatting it up like old friends, the interview was going well until the radio host decided to make a poke at a taboo topic, Robert's relationship with co-star Kristen Stewart.
What do you say to your fans who are desperate to know about you and your co-star Kristen? What can you tell them?
After an awkward pause, Pattinson's PR manager decided that enough was enough and spirited the teen heartthrob away, with Seacrest sitting shunned.
But I was just cut off for the first time ever.
Too bad it didn't keep the Robston drama from blowing up all over the tabloids. Number 8, Shannon Tweed.
She's mad because you made a joke about it.
I was trying to lighten the mood, and
She was not having it.
Yeah.
In June of 2011, Shannon Tweed and husband figure Gene Simmons appeared on Joy Behar Say Anything to promote the new season of Gene Simmons' Family Jewels. The interview was a little awkward to begin with, as Tweed kept repeating that she was sick of her relationship with Simmons and his philandering ways.
What about you've been with him for 27 years. Is it new?
I'm tired.
28.
I'm tired of it.
You're tired of the life?
Well, the kids went to college, and I'm tired of his life.
Shannon rips off her microphone and walks out, as Gene calmly asks her to return.
Luckily, not too much damage was done, as Simmons and Tweed married just 4 months later and are still together as of 2024.
At least the story has a happy ending.
Number 7, Naomi Campbell. Diamonds, drama, cameras being punched, this sounds like an episode of Real Housewives. Backstage during Campbell's charity fashion show for Haiti, ABC reporters decided to question the supermodel about how she allegedly received a large blood diamond from ex-Liberian President Charles Taylor. Apparently she wasn't in the mood to discuss her jewelry, as she quickly cut the reporter off and said that she would not be discussing any diamond during the interview.
From Charles. I didn't receive a diamond, and I'm not going to speak about that.
Shortly afterwards, she stormed away, knocking a camera out of a producer's hands as she made a hasty exit.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Let's get up.
Number 6, Kid Cudi.
Nardwuar is an oddly beloved, cult Canadian interviewer who uses an idiosyncratic personality and some truly impressive research to throw off his guests. His unorthodox approach typically results in bewilderment and maybe even some acknowledgement, but it often gets him into trouble.
Yo, he know too much. I can't do this.
Things were going quite well with Kid Cudi until Nardwuar showed Cudi some albums that his deceased uncle played on. Cudi is polite enough, but he quickly leaves without any fanfare or formal goodbye. He just up and walks out the door while Nardwuar chases him down the short hallway.
Doo-doo-doo-doo. Can you say bye-bye? Come on, man, chill out.
Number 5, Christine O'Donnell.
I think I'm being rather charming and respectful. I'm just asking you questions based on your own public statements.
When it comes to this notoriously sassy British TV personality, he has no issue putting his guest in the spotlight, whether it's Kelsey Grammer or once Republican Senate candidate Christine O'Donnell. Known for being just a tad eccentric, O'Donnell didn't disappoint with her reaction to Morgan's questions regarding her views on gay marriage.
Do you talk about gay marriage in the book?
What relevance is that right now?
At first dodging the question and then becoming angry at Morgan for his rudeness, the Senate hopeful announced that she'd given up another interview for this slot and that she was being pulled away.
Yeah, okay, I'm being pulled away. You know, we turned down another interview for this.
Leaving us all in awkward silence.
All right, are we off? Are we done?
Still there. I'm not. I'm still here.
Number 4, Justin Bieber.
This entire interview was like something you'd see in Lost in Translation. Bieber appeared on a Spanish radio show in 2015 and immediately took umbrage with the format. As the interview was conducted in Spanish, a translator was required to both translate the host's questions and the Bieb's ansers.
Fiestas, por ejemplo, de Guadalcanal, pues que no va al centro del fuego, no va a las fiestas patronales de Washington. Ahí no me metes. Sí, bueno, pues como nosotros.
You can practically see Bieber's eyes glazing over throughout the interview due to the glacial pace and terrible questions, which many people attribute to poor translating. After 8 minutes of torture and some unnecessary personal digs, the hosts asked Justin to break the internet with some popular YouTubers, forcing Bieber to nonchalantly walk out amidst the host's obvious excitement.
Okay, there's millions.
Okay, yeah. Come with us. Come with us.
And they are YouTubers.
Vamos aquí. Come with us.
Talk about being a buzzkill. You know, he was great with Us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Number 3, Robert Downey Jr.
What are we doing?
Well, I'm just asking questions, that's all.
Right.
The British journalist Krishnan Gurumurthy has made awkward interviews his specialty. When Iron Man star Robert Downey Jr. sat down with him in 2015 to promote the latest Avengers movie, we're guessing RDJ wasn't expecting to be asked about his political opinions, his relationship with his dad, or his past experiences with drugs and alcohol.
You've talked in other interviews again about your relationship with your father and the role of all of that in, the dark periods you went to.
After testily answering a few of the interviewer's questions, Downey tried to steer the topic back to the movie before deciding that it was getting a little Diane Sawyer.
You see, okay, it's just getting a little Diane Sawyer in your... No, look, I don't want to do that.
Number 2, Joan Rivers.
You know, this whole interview is becoming a defensive interview.
No!
Are you wearing leather shoes?
Yeah,
shut up.
I'm talking.
The late Joan Rivers was not to be messed with. CNN proved that the hard way. The interviewer, Frederica Whitfield, is clearly doing that whole "I'll attack you, but I'll pretend to be polite and act innocent" thing throughout the whole interview. She takes numerous potshots at Rivers while continuing to feign friendliness, which includes laughing at Joan's comments, but before long, she has had enough.
You're just saying, no, I'm going. I really am going because all you have done is negative.
Once Whitfield comments on Rivers' fur coat, she flies off the handle before calling the interview negative and storming off. Whitfield also states that Rivers kept her microphone on after the cameras had cut and let fly some rather, colorful language. Something tells us Joan did not take kindly to the passive aggressiveness.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar. You know it's bad when the hosts decide that they've had enough. Pit legendary Whoopi Goldberg against then Fox News host Bill O'Reilly, and the gloves are bound to come off. A heated debate regarding the construction of mosques after 9/11 sparked an argument between the hosts that escalated quickly.
Oh my God!
After O'Reilly's remark about Muslims, both Behar and Goldberg decided they'd had enough and walked off.
You're outraged about
After a short cooldown and an apology from O'Reilly, they returned, but we'll never forget the stunned silence as the two TV titans figuratively left the building. Would you have walked out in their situation? Let us know in the comments.
But ask him about it? How dare you?
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.